We're here today with Paul Mecurio. He's a comedian who's coming back to Rhode Island to do a show. You work on the Colbert Show, and you have a very interesting line of experience when it comes to working. So let's start off with the fact that you went to Providence College, then law school, Georgetown Law School, worked on Wall Street as an attorney, an investment banker, and now you're in comedy. How does that happen?
You sound like my parents when I told them I was going to leave. You're like, wait a minute, you went to law school, and you're going to...
I'm sure.
I grew up in Providence, went to classical high school, and did, like you said, PC, Georgetown, and then, I don't know, I was just practicing law, and I started writing jokes as a hobby. I don't know what was going on. I was writing them. And I just would create a file and had a whole bunch of jokes. And then one night Jay Leno was performing at a private function, and I went up to him and I said, I don't know if you need jokes, but I have jokes. I'm never going to use them. And I handed them to him, and he was like, okay. He really does talk like, his head's like a Macy's balloon that just keeps moving, and then it's like helium coming out. And then I said to him, just take them. And then a couple of days later, my phone rings. True story. It's Jay Leno. It's Paul there.
Oh, wow.
And I think it's my friend David pulling a prank. And I'm in the middle of like a merger deal. I'm like, David, I don't have time for this. No, it's Jay Leno. I go, yeah, right. I go, no, it's Jay Leno. And I actually said to Jay Leno, you do a lousy Jay Leno. And he's like, I think I do a pretty good me. I'm like, oh my God, it's Jay Leno.
Is that when you realized it?
That's when I realized it. And he goes, I read your jokes, and you can say, I need stuff for the Tonight Show monologue. And he goes, by the way, I pay you $50 a joke for whatever I use. And he goes, what do you do for a living? I go, I'm a lawyer. He goes, I knew it. I go, why? He goes, you write like a lawyer. You're too wordy. He goes, you're not writing the Magna Carta. Just get to the punchline. And then a week later, he did one of my jokes on the Tonight Show.
Very cool. So did he mentor you at all into
this? A little bit, yeah, he did. And, you know, and people always say to me, did you know you were going to be a comedian? Like, were you funny? And I'm like, no,
you did not know.
Exactly.
I mean, I was an attorney.
I was right. I was funny in like high school. I was always the funniest lawyer in my law firm, which is not saying much. It's like saying you're the sexiest IT guy. You know, it's not really like, you know, so, and then that's how it started. And then I started just writing more jokes, and then I started doing the material, and then it was like, boom.
Yeah, and now you work for the Colbert Show. So very cool stuff. Your family had a well-known furniture store in Rhode Island for 63 years. So did you work on the store? Did you get any comedy from that?
I was only born because they needed another employee. It was called Cam's Furniture, KM, as some of you out there probably bought something from my mother, Tina. It's on Middle Spring Avenue in North Providence, 146 exit, Middle Spring Avenue, you go left. Okay, that's how you do it in Rhode Island. And my mother started it in 1960, and my mother's 97 now, retired, and she's mad. She doesn't want to be retired because she wants to keep working. She goes, what am I going to do? I go, well, we'll take you to the senior center. She goes, I'm not going to go there. Those people are old. I'm like, you're old. You're 97. What are you going to go skydiving with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce? You're old. And she's like, well, I don't understand why I have to close the store. I go, well, let's start with the fact, you know, she can't hear, and and she's very cheap. She won't buy a hearing aid, and she finds it in the garbage, and it whistles all the time. So it's like, a lot of that. And I go, well, let's start with the fact that she was locking customers in the store in the middle of the day.
That's not good.
And she would just go, oh, I'm going to go run an errand, and she would lock the door. I go there one day, the door's locked. I'm not making this up.
People are calling 911.
There's a woman in the store. I go, what happened? She goes, I couldn't get out. I turned to her, I go, how long has she been here? She goes, I've been locked in for 4 hours.
Oh, no.
I swear. I go, what have you been doing? She goes, well, I browsed a lot. She goes, I took a nap on that sofa. She goes, your name Paul? I go, yeah. She goes, well, the phone rang and I took messages. She took messages for me.
Wow.
So you can never win with your parents, right? I said to my mother, I go, Ma, you can't lock people in the store. She goes, oh, I don't know what you're yelling at me about. The woman took a nap on that sofa. She liked it so much she's going to buy it. I made a sale and I wasn't even in the store. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm done.
Yeah, you can't keep locking customers inside.
No,
you're like, as an attorney.
It's a little bit.
Yeah, you
exactly.
can't.
I had to use my legal skills to get my mother out of it. Yeah.
So clearly, you grew up in Rhode Island. You have an Italian family. You come home for that Italian food, I hear.
Yeah. Oh God, it's always about the food. We eat with a big Sunday Italian dinner. My Uncle Archie used to have a barber shop on Wigan Street, and we have dinner at his house. And he was like, they were really into the Italians has to be like fresh. Everything has to be fresh.
Yeah.
So like, you know, you go to the market, you get like cold cuts, right? You get the ham, salami, whatever, and they cut it up and you take it home. Not him. He had a meat slicer in his basement. It's got to be fresh. And he had like loaves of like bologna and stuff in the refrigerator. And then he had mortadella, which, you know, think about that. Somebody out there looked at bologna and went, hey, you know, that bologna, it looks a little too healthy. What can we do to make it like heart attack bad? Oh, I know. Let's put a little, we'll put a little fat in there, and we'll call it mortadella. Like, what are we doing? Like, it was crazy.
Classic Italian diet right there. So you actually have a show that's coming to Rhode Island. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I'm doing this show, Permission to Speak. It's stand-up, but it's also talking to the audience and getting great stories from audience members and stuff like that. And, you know, having a lot of fun. And we're doing it at the United Theater in Westerly, Rhode Island. We sold it out last year.
Oh, very cool.
And it's going to be March 8th, unitedtheater.org for tickets, and it's going to be close to being sold out again, and we're maybe adding another show on March 7th, Friday, but right now we have one on March 8th. And it's, you know, me telling stories about my life like I'm doing here, and then, you know, just audience members sharing their stories and it's like sort of a crowd work show on steroids where we just start to get into stuff with people. So it's been really fun. We had a great show last year at the United. It's a beautiful theater. I don't know if you've been, but Westerly's like completely done the whole area over.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and United Theater is awesome. And, you know, we're just talking about anything, like kids and, you know, raising. Can I show you what my son gave me for good luck for the show real
Sure.
quick? You have a second? He gave me... You get a shot of this.
Oh, a dinosaur.
Gave me his favorite dinosaur.
That's very cute.
He's
How old
15.
is your son?
Don't judge. Tammy, do not judge. The boy likes... No, he's like... So, you know, you don't know what you're doing with a kid either.
Yeah. I can relate. I have a 13-month-old.
Okay, so he or she?
He.
Going to get a little older, going to start asking you questions. You're not going to have answers. Like my son was 6, we're watching the Discovery Channel. He's like, why does a platypus look the way it does? So you just start winging it. I don't know. God just had a sense of humor. I think he was exhausted after creating stuff for 6 days, and he went, what do we got left for spare parts in the warehouse? What's that, a duck's bill? Put it on a beaver's butt and get it out of here. And so
we need something new.
Exactly. Yeah. You got to shake it up.
Yeah, my best friend has a 6-year-old and told me that you never know how much you don't know until they start asking you why.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden you're like, wow, I actually don't know a lot about this world.
Exactly. That's exactly what happens. Yeah.
All right. Well, Paul, thanks for being here.
Oh, yeah.
And we're looking forward to your show. So again, March 8th. In Westerly and possibly March 7th, correct?
Yeah, United Theater, really cool place. And come out, and then I'm going to have mortadella for everybody. Sliced, it'll be fresh. It'll be fresh.
Fresh mortadella, can't say no to that. All right, Paul, thank you.
No, thanks for having me. Great to be on with you.